then you understand that, okay, this is a big role. I hope that in the performance I gave, that I did justice to the character, and that people, who watch the English version will be able to feel that lah.
Bang, nasi lemak satu, nak ayam tambah telur mata. Lepas tu tak nak sambal, tukang tempoyak. Ada, tempoyak udang.
Tunggu! Kamu pencuri ya? Sebab kamu dah mencuri hati saya.
Now, could you try being a little bit more angry? This is your hero voice, right? So you're a little bit more angry with Matt. Ready? Let's try. Go.
Apa hal ni, Mac? Apa pasal berhenti? Kamu tahu yang sekarang kita bergerak 0 km sejam?
Good. Nice. Nice anger.
Madness is the emergency exit. You can just step outside and close the door and all those dreadful things that happened. You can lock them away forever.
And welcome back to Contychat, ladies and gents. The name is Jli Paul. Thank you so much for tuning in to us, for your company as well, right here on my Freeviews channel 123, and also on Salon Berita RTM channel 123 as well. Well, today is going to be an interesting show, but before we move on and unwrap today's chat, please tell your friends and family, man. We are on Facebook and also on YouTube. All you need to do is just hit us up at ContyNews, alright? So, unwrapping today's topic has got to be voice acting. Well, it's an art of performing voiceovers to present characters or people, and also most importantly to relay the message to the audience. But while it sounds like someone is just talking into the mic, well, voice acting is just more than that, alright? Well, simply because voice actors, they don't have the benefit of their facial and also body expression to tell people the story. But then again, it happens. They tell people the story, they continue to entertain, and most importantly, they continue to amaze us listeners with their voice and with their creativity. So with that being said, they're always behind the scenes, and right now I'm about to bring them up front. Ladies and gentlemen, joining me in the studio has been heavily involved in the industry for over a decade. Well, she's an actress as well from my favorite local telly show. I literally grew up to it, okay? I'm talking about Kopitiam, ladies and gents. We have Joanna Bessey.
I'll clap for myself.
Yeah, I'll clap for you as well. Thank you so much for being here. Now, before we head on down to the questions, right? I'm going to put 10 seconds on the clock. I'm going to, give you some expressions and emotions, and you have to say yes. So we're going to put your voice acting skill to the test. Actually, I don't have to because I know you're a pro. Okay, so are we ready? 10 seconds on the clock, ladies and gentlemen. Join me on this one. And the time starts now. Curious.
Yes.
Sad.
Yes.
Happy.
Yes.
Hopeful.
Yes.
Oh, wow. Okay, yeah, okay, you know what? Let's finish the whole thing, okay? Let's do sexy.
Oh, yes.
Thank you so much. I mean, wow. Was it hard, to be honest, by just saying the word yes?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's hard to be sexy with just one word. But yeah, okay.
Yeah, and then you have to have all sorts of yeses being involved and all those kind of stuff. It's creativity, and you have to really just... I don't know lah. I mean, I can't voice act, but you have 10 years, over a decade, and I'm sure there'll be more. How did it all start for you?
Well, it started for me because obviously I learned how to be an actor.
Mm-hmm.
And so in acting training, of course, you learn how to use your voice and you learn how to sing as well. And that's where the expression begins. So actually, any good voice actor has to learn acting and acting technique. And we start there, and then from there I started to slowly start doing voiceovers for commercials.
Okay.
And I do a lot of corporate videos until today, actually. A lot of voiceover work for even like drama series where we're dubbing from another language.
Right.
So from there, then the animation industry, and MDEC started doing all sorts of really amazing things and injecting lots of new creativity into starting brand new industries. And
Okay.
from there was a lot of work going around for, animation and that type of voice acting.
So they literally just call you. It's like, hey Joanna, you want to be part of this voiceover project? And you're like, yeah, why not?
Oh no, I mean you still have to audition.
Oh, right,
just like,
okay.
Yeah, so just like any kind of acting role that you might have, you go for audition. Of course, you need to like put your name out there in the industry, make yourself known. So if anyone's dreaming of doing voice acting, you market yourself just like you would any other product, actually.
Yes.
So you might have to send out your voice samples to different studios and to different producers or maybe animation companies. Yeah, and then you may get called in for an audition. And then hopefully from there you get a job. Yes.
Okay, so did you know that you're going to be going down this road, or you wanted to actually just stay with acting?
Yeah, I mean, when I first graduated, I thought I was a very serious actor as well. I thought I was a very dramatic, very serious actor.
Oh, dramatic is good. Dramatic is good. Yeah.
And then I started getting cast in comedy. Everything I did was comedy, so I was like, okay, my face is just comedy.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah, things like shows like Kopitiam and All Mixed Up and all the really fun sitcoms I got to be involved with. Yeah.
So we're talking about roles here, especially when it comes to voice acting. Can you just tell us what kind of roles that you have actually acted? Yeah.
Played roles.
Yeah, played a role.
Well, I've all sorts of different animations, lots of little roles. There was a animation called Super Tots, where I played one of the main roles, and there was a animation done for the World Cup one year called Zakumi.
Okay.
So I played an animated character in that. I'm trying to think specifically for animation because I do a lot of voiceover work that is for other things as well. And there's all sorts of crazy little cartoon kind of things where we didn't even have script. There's this whole show called Mustang Mama. I don't know how many hundreds of episodes we did.
Okay.
And it was all sounds like so literally myself and another actor, Murad, we did the sounds of every single character in the entire series. And it's all like non-verbal, non-language,
Right.
no words, right?
Right.
So it's all just sounds, So really interesting storytelling and really cute, crazy animation. And I think the most recent one is for games.
Okay.
So really interesting. I played the role of Eve in No Straight Roads,
Yeah.
or called NSR.
Okay.
Yeah, so a Malaysian video game that's actually become really famous. I get fan mail from like South America, like people like, oh, can you do
All the way good.
yeah, really interesting. It's like, wow, this Malaysian game NSR is really reaching out to a whole other worldwide audience. It's quite amazing, actually.
Well, the gaming industry is definitely booming for sure. And okay, you see, you have mentioned that you have done lots of stuff, but voiceovers, they're not for everybody, isn't it? I mean, at the end of the day, we must have that mindset. We must think quickly. And actually, what are we talking about right here? If you want to be a voice actor, what kind of criteria that we're actually talking about? You just can't simply just talk into the mic and say, okay, you know what? One day I am going to be a voice actor.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I mean, you have a very nice voice. Obviously, that's why you also have this job and you're hosting and things like that. If your voice wasn't clear, so all the basics need to be there, right?
Okay.
And then once you do that, you start getting into character. So you need to know how to analyze the script. How do you create a voice from a script? Like the
You make it
creative
seem so
choices-
natural. Oh my gosh.
The creative choices you could choose are endless. So you got to think about like the character, and then how do you use your voice for that kind of expression? And like you said, the challenge in voice acting is you can't see the physical, you can't see the body language, you can't see the facial expression. So all of that expression has to come out in the voice.
Yeah.
So the voice becomes even more over the top in a sense.
Okay.
To match the animation of the characters or the visual of what you're voicing for.
So is there such thing like, you've been given a script and then you try to play a specific role out of the script and then it's actually too hard? Is it a way of actually writing the script also as well that plays an important role in voice acting?
Yeah, I mean, a really good example of that is, I think we did over 100 episodes of dubbing for a Japanese anime cartoon called Pitchy Pitch, like Mermaid Princess.
Okay.
It's called like Mermaid Princess. I don't know. It's like some It's a popular Japanese cartoon that I didn't really know beforehand.
Okay.
Pitchy Pitchy Bitch is like these mermaid princesses who like transform and sing, and they have special powers, you know. And normally in the normal life they're just normal girls. So we did and so all the scripts actually in Japanese.
Right,
so the
right.
mouth flaps for the animation is matching the Japanese script.
Okay.
So our challenge was trying to match the way that the animation moved, because
Okay.
sometimes we run out of words. Our script's too short for the Japanese one, or vice versa, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, so those are really interesting and fun challenges. So we have to like improvisation. So that's another skill you probably need as a voice actor. You have to be able to improvise, you have to be able to react and see
Yeah.
timing to match with visuals, as well as bring out your voice performance.
Yeah.
So that the audience, you know, have an emotional impact from the performance.
Okay.
To bring those, you know, visuals to life. Otherwise we feel like it's just flat, right? So I think that the nice thing about voice acting is that it brings out, you know, if you think about your favorite characters, I don't know, whether it be Toy Story or any of those characters, the voices really bring the human touch,
Right.
you know?
Right.
Yeah, so and that's the fun part and also the challenge for any voice actor. And I think a lot of people probably have talent in this, but don't realize it as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're finding that a lot because you know, we conduct workshops at Infinity Academy where I work, and we do voice acting for animation workshops. So,
Okay,
yeah.
we will come back about this wonderful workshop that you have for all of us here. But at the meantime, we gotta check Sahi out because he's out and about at KL Chinatown. It's called Kwai Chai Hong, so I'm not sure what's that all about. But Sahi, I'm sure you're about to tell us what's all about. So take it away, Sahi.
Thanks, Brandon. From the studio right now, you're here with me, Sahi Samshuddin, for the Woohoo segment, where we bring you to the awesome places and taste delicious treats for you to experience yourself. Right now, we're in the middle of KL City at Kwai Chai Hong. Let's check it out. Hey guys, I just walked through Hong Xiang, which means the Red Bridge. As you can see, there's a lot of beautiful murals right here and a lot of Instagrammable places, so you can take pictures here. Come, let's find out more. I'm tired. Come, let's treat ourselves with the delicacies down there. Hey guys, right now I'm here at Bubble Bee Cafe. The famous treats here are the waffles. So I want to try the Mary Berry waffle. Come, let's check it out how they do it. Hey guys, check out my Mary Berry waffle, one of the famous treats here in Kwai Chai Hong, where right now we're in Bubble Bee Cafe. So what we have inside, we have walnut, we have almond, we have strawberry, we have berries. Whew, you know what? What really goes well with desserts? Coffee, definitely coffee. Bitter and sweet, just like my life. Brandon, this is so good. You have to come down here, and I really wish you were here with me, bro. You know why? Because this is like so extremely delicious. It goes well with my coffee. So guys, do come here at Kwai Chai Hong, Bubble Bee Cafe, to come and experience yourself this wonderful waffle. So don't forget, see you around in the next Woohoo segment.
That was Sahi, ladies and gents, up and about in KL Chinatown. I hope one day he can actually bring us all go jalan-jalan lah. Alright, Sahi, now, of course, back to today's topic. It's all about voice acting, voice over, and more. We have Joanna Bessey. So, once again, thank you so much for being here. Now, you were just mentioning about this particular workshop. Tell us more about it.
Yeah, because we noticed that there's a lot of potential for work actually in this industry.
Okay.
And many years ago, I started working at Infinity Academy when it first started 11 years ago, and since then yearly we've been having workshops to teach people the skills of how do you do voice acting.
Okay.
You know, how do you do acting specifically for, let's say, voiceovers or
Right.
voice acting. And yeah, it's been a lot of fun. And it's been really, it's amazing, like 11 years later, it's still a popular workshop.
Okay.
And we teach people all the skills, all the acting skills you need, and then how do you know, work in a studio with a mic. We let them actually record on the last day and do a voice recording sample of all the different character voices they've created during the workshop. And yeah, that's a good way to get introduced, I think, if you're interested in this field.
Yeah, okay. We're talking about this particular workshop, but when it started for you, did you go for any workshop?
No.
Exactly.
Nobody to guide us.
Yeah, and then how did it work so well for you? I mean, a workshop these days, people can register themselves and hopefully they get called. I mean, voice over, I mean, it's the industry where everybody wants to actually tap in.
It's actually really cool. I feel quite proud, like a proud mama. I'm a proud mama because the other voice acting talents that also helped me to teach were my students originally.
Okay.
You know, like people like Stephen Bones and Azman Zulkifli, and actually Na'am Murad and I, years ago, we used to do like workshops like this for animators, people who started working in the animation industry, and they wanted to learn how to be a better actors themselves in order to make their animation more interesting.
All right.
You know, so when this industry first started, there was really kind of no guidance for us.
All right.
We only had our acting talent and our acting skills and training, and then we just had to start lending that to the voice acting and voiceover industry. Yeah, I was one of the first guild members. I was around when Jeffrey Nicholson was like, Joanna, do you want to join the voice guild? I'm like, of course, I'll join, you know. Back then, we just simply joined because all the voice talents were not really protected. We didn't have an association, or, you know, and then certain studios were owing certain talents a lot of money, huge amounts of money.
Yeah.
So they decided to just be more organized and have an association, organization, a guild to sort of, you know, set some minimum standards more on the commercial side of things, like commercial voiceovers.
Right.
So all the voices you hear on the radio, like in commercials or on the TV, you know, you hear all those voiceovers. Yeah, these are the voice guild members normally.
You just mentioned about how, okay, it's funny thing that you mentioned that, you know, this particular person was part of the organization that they actually called it to join in, Voice Guild, right? I actually did some homework, and apparently all over the world, the entire population, of course, in terms of being a voice actor, is dominated by male, right? So why is this so, yeah?
In a world where men dominate. No, I don't know. Actually, I mean, there's a lot of. It's probably changing a lot more recently.
Right.
I think in Malaysia we're quite balanced. We have plenty of women, and you know.
I mean, you go over to the parking machine, it's always female, right? But then, whatever you hear, the average is always a male.
Yeah, station berikutnya. Kampung Kerinci. I think maybe that's Ramona. I'm not sure whose voice that is. But it's one of the guild members.
Ah, right, okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think there's a nice balance. I think in the past, people like low, deep voices. Men's voices are very nice to listen to. And, you know, naturally in our DNA, we will listen to men's voices probably through our evolution as human beings. It was probably a survival tactic. Like if you know, the man is like warning there's a bear coming to attack us or something. I don't know. Who knows? The history.
The imagination. Yeah. Okay.
But so it's very nice to hear those lower tones.
Right.
So a lot of female voice actors also will use those lower tones when you want to get attention, when you want to command attention.
Yeah.
There's actually all sorts of techniques where you can use different tones of your voice, different pitch of the voice for different effect.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a technical side to that.
But it has evolved in a way where we don't really listen to this kind of deep voice anymore, right?
Not necessarily, yeah.
Yeah. Everything
No,
is so
it's
cheerful
starting
and
to-
happy and high pitched and all that. But of course, we're talking about voice acting. Now, let's talk about the cake that one may get from voice acting. Let's talk about, you know, the usual rate. If you want to be a voiceover actor as well, Joanna Bessey, please.
Yes, well, I mean, if you're doing animation or an animated series, you probably have a rate that you will get per episode. It depends how much time you need to play the character, how much time you'll spend in the studio.
Okay.
Or if you're doing dubbing work, how long that would take, and how much of the creative process if you're involved in an original piece of work. If it's something like a game, then for gaming, maybe you've got to think about how much the game might make worldwide, and how much time, there's sort of like worldwide rough standard rates that how many hours you're in the studio recording the script. However, so that is very variable. That can vary a lot. But for commercial rates, in the Voice Guild, for example, the amount you can make per second for a commercial is 20 ringgit per second.
Be right back.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you're doing a lot of commercial work, it can be quite lucrative, and some Voice Guild members do it full time. And for myself, I just do it part time, and I do more on documentaries. The most exciting thing recently was my voice was used for Petronas at the Malaysian Expo in Dubai, the World Expo. So they had this really awesome digital cube thing, and with all this like display of what Malaysia is doing, what Petronas is doing in the future and everything. And my voice was there.
Oh, wow.
And then Miss Malaysia, Francisca, she was in Dubai. She like videoed some of it for me. I was like, oh, it's so cool. I got a little snippet of seeing that installation in Dubai. So yeah, it really exciting things can happen, and you can get paid quite well for it, as well, whether you do it full time or as a side job.
Right.
It's worth experimenting and exploring. Especially I find those who come to our workshops tend to be people who would love to be actors but a little bit shy and want to be more behind the scenes. So you don't see your face physically, but they have the creativity in their voice and their expression comes out.
Okay. So we talk about all the good things about voice acting. Let's be real about voice acting, doing voiceovers. Let's talk about the toughest things or toughest project that you actually have done, where maybe you have external issues as well when it comes to the clients. Clients can be clients, right? So what are some of the toughest challenges that you actually face?
I think some of the toughest challenges are when you are working in the studio and you're recording, and too many cooks have come to the studio, and through the glass you can see the client, you can see the agency people, you can see the studio people, the producer, and then they all have different things to say. And then what unfortunately happens is the talent gets confused because the direction is not clear. And sometimes maybe an agency person or a client, they want a specific direction, but they don't know how to articulate it. They don't know how to say it clearly to the actor. So this is where you get...
And then they keep saying, no, you're wrong. It's not supposed to be said like that. Those kind of stuff. Oh man, even the pros, they face that as well.
So you get some pros who are like time, and they'll be like, I'm giving you this version, version 3, version 4, that's it. And then they leave.
Right.
Yeah. So some of the super pros, they'll be like, okay, I'll do it for you like this. I'll follow your direction, how you want it, and then they leave. Then they ciao. They're like, okay, because this could go on forever, right? So that could be a challenge. I think in that kind of situation, just really clear communication is really key, and for the voice actor or the voice talent to not get offended, because to understand it from an overview, like, okay, they're going for a particular thing and they just don't know how to say it to you clearly. And if you're kind of a crazy person like me, I love being in the booth, so I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll do it again. Okay, I'm happy to be there, like doing it 100 different ways. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Because I enjoy it. So I think maybe you have to be a little bit mental like myself, and enjoy playing all these different characters and doing the same thing 100 different ways,
Okay, so now of course we're going to wrap things up, but not just this yet. But before we go, could you tell ourselves, or rather tell those people out there, if they want to groom themselves to be VO artists just like you, what should they do and who should they look out for, when it comes to organizations, so on and so forth, besides Voice Guild? Are there any other organizations for VOs?
Well, MDEC has been really supportive for this type of industry, and I think the only people that I know so far who are doing workshops like this, apart from maybe individual voice talents here and there, but who are doing it consistently, is Infinity Academy of Performing Arts. And you can find us, that's where I work, and we kind of created this voice acting for animation workshop. And when we first started 11 years ago, I was Googling online. It doesn't exist anywhere else in the world.
Right.
Anywhere else in the world, if you want to learn how to do voice acting, you just take a normal acting course. There's nothing specifically just for voice acting at that time. So I was like, quite proud of ourselves. We're like, oh, we're doing something.
First in the world, yeah.
First in the world. And it's been really popular since then. So you can come to our website, www.infinityacademy.com, and just join our workshop. It's so easy to join. Anyone can join. You know, we don't say like, oh, you have to be a good actor first. No, you don't even have to have any experience. We'll teach you all the basics, like how do you overcome nervousness, how do you get that creativity into your voice, you know, and give you some basics from people who work in the industry. They also do a lot of Q&A. Like we had a really nice last session. One of my previous students, she's a voice for Agent Ali, Ida, right?
Agent Ali, wow, okay.
Yeah, so she was like our special guest speaker. So we'll have different people join and give advice and do Q&A and help people to get started. You know, it's worth checking out, I think, especially if you love watching TV or cartoons and you love like creating your own voices.
Yeah.
Then you probably got the right personality for this type of work.
Right. Briefly, the final question: is there an ideal age for this?
Oh my gosh! Do you know how much talent is needed for children?
There
are not enough because children's voices change, right? So often when somebody needs a real child voice, it's really hard to find. So there's a lot of children who've come to our workshops who start working professionally. Like, wow, they're like making money. I was like, damn, very good.
Balling when you're a kid, yeah. So definitely, yes, you can be
age.
as young any age. So
any age. As long as you can read the script, I think.
Yeah. So parents out there, send your kids over. Don't take their money lah. Save for their education.
Yes,
exactly.
Save for their uni.
Thank you so much, Joanna Bessey, for being with us
Brandon.
here. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, we are about to wrap things up right here, right now on Contychat. Remember, do follow us on our socials. That's at ContyNews. We are on Facebook and also on YouTube, alright? Till next time, I'm Jli Paul. We'll catch you soon. Same time, same place. Bye-bye.